Hey, BX Beauties, welcome back to the Bracorriah's Beauty Circle. We are just kind of trying to get things together. Give us 1 minute and we are going to get started. Y'all see, I got a special guest in the house.
What's up, BX Beauties?
All right, give us a minute. We're gonna go ahead and get started.
여유롭게 달려와 내일은 더 빛나지 당연 yeah. 내 삶은 shine like a diamond 괜히 해서 뭐해 걱정 I got no worries no I got no worries no I got no worries no I'm shining like a diamond shining like
All right, and it is on and popping. Welcome back to another Bracorriah's Beauty Circle. I have my husband joining us. Say hi to the people, husband.
What's up? Brandon in the house.
Yes, and today we are talking all about protecting and preserving your relationships. And who better to have join me when we're talking about protecting and preserving our relationships?
Yeah. I mean, I could be. I guess you're right. Who else would you have? Good question.
Can't nobody do it and explain it better than my husband. So.
Right.
If you are new to Bracorriah's Beauty Circle, thank you for joining. We are an interactive women's empowerment circle. Our mission is to pay it forward. Our mission is to ensure that women, no matter what your life journey is, no matter where you are in the stages of life, you have the ability to be empowered and to get something from this empowerment circle. It's our way of connecting as like-minded individuals and just making sure that we have a safe space to share our testimony, share our experiences, and hopefully learn and empower each other. Before I get started, y'all, many of you, if you are following our social media, you will know we got our new Bracorriah's Beauty Circle and Bracorriah X Beauty merch. We got our shirts on. I'm not sure how much you can see of that shirt, so we'll show the shirts in a little bit. But make sure you go to the website and check out that merch. They are affirming shirts that allow you to express your that allow you to express your feelings and your thoughts and your spiritual affirmations. So, with that being said, let's just get into it so we don't have y'all here all night. So we today are talking about how to maintain our relationships, how to keep our relationships together. I mean, the temptation is a mug. The enemy is always busy at attacking our marriages, attacking our relationships. So we basically are just kind of sharing a little bit about us, our relationship, answering some questions. So if you have a question for us, by all means, make sure you comment, join the discussion, and tell us about your experience. With that being said, we're gonna put husband in a hot seat just a little bit.
Oh no.
He already told me he didn't want to be interviewed, but we're gonna do this together.
Yeah, we interviewing each other.
So I'm gonna test his memory. Do you remember where we first met
Mm,
and how we met?
that's a good one. If I can remember, I'm going to say uh, high school. Uh, That's when we met.
Yeah. Okay.
But there is a time where we was kids, and I had the little red wagon, which you remember, which was funny to me. We was probably about 3 and 4 or something like that, and I actually pulled her around in my wagon at that time. Yeah, so that really was supposedly the first time we were together. But high school, I go with the high school.
I'm just glad you remember. It didn't, you're right. So we met in high school. I want to say we was like in 9th grade.
Yeah.
10th? Got it. I think 9th grade.
Yeah. Could have been going to the 10th.
Yeah, I think it's like 9th grade. But yeah, we come from the same neighborhood. So we used to play together. I ain't know nothing about him later on in life until we met again in high school. But he lived next door to our aunt. And yep, we used to play in this little red wagon. He'd be pushing me out around the wagon. And who'd have thought we'd be married later on down the line off of a little wagon ride? But hey, here we are. Here we are. So one of the things I usually say, people be talking about there's these special places to meet folks, and oftentimes I hear people talking about they going to church to meet people and or the grocery store. It's a lot of places.
But the main one is that club.
Oh, yeah.
That club takes the cake.
We hear a lot of people talking about they met at the nightclub, but hold on now. Yeah. Back in the day, everybody used to say they going to church to meet them a spouse, but these days, baby, they got so much going on in the church. You better have your eyes wide open.
Walk it out.
We ain't gonna talk about what's going on in the church because I know everybody done been keeping track, but I don't know. I would think twice. If I was in the dating field, I would think twice about going to the church looking for a spouse.
Right.
That's for sure. And just as a reminder, for some of you guys, I know you're not on technology and you don't have the opportunity to comment via the live stream. So feel free to connect with us via our email. And we are live on email. So we will be reading some of those comments from some of our other viewers who may not be able to comment. Again, if you have a comment or you want to join the interactive circle and you're not on the live stream and can't comment, send us an email to bxbeautycircle@gmail.com. All right. And we'll read your comment. So I got LL on the stream saying the grocery store. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Walmart.
Yep, Walmart. But I tell you, I don't know. I don't think you would have wanted to meet me at Walmart because I go off and I looking hold out. I tell you, I don't know. But anyway, next question. Do you recall how long we dated before we actually got married? Yeah, he in the hot seat, y'all. How long did we date before we actually got married?
I'm gonna say it was probably about 13 years, I would say.
Yes. 13 years. We dated 13 years. We was long overdue.
Yeah.
Like we were long overdue to be married by the time we actually got married.
But if you think about it, coming from high school that young, 9th grade, that's really not because most people don't get married, or even be with their spouse.
That's true.
From high school, so for us to still be together and all that time and still together now, it's a beautiful thing.
Baby, I'm going to tell you, 13 years in, Yes. It
Yeah, I
felt
couldn't wait.
way too long for
She
me.
wouldn't give me no more.
It felt way too long. I get where he coming from. You always want to make sure that you spent enough time getting to know your partner before you make that commitment, which should be lifelong. But yes.
But another thing, weddings are not cheap. So in high school, I ain't had no money to be trying to have a wedding and buy a ring and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it was clearly out the picture before,
And that
you
went
have to
both
make some money to.
ways. I mean, because I'm in the 9th and 10th grade, all throughout my school, everybody know I ain't play by my books. All throughout school, I'm just trying to get through high school.
Yeah.
I'm let alone like trying to marry somebody. But here's a question for you, husband.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think people should date and be together before they actually get married? Like, or do you believe in love at first sight, where people go and get married right away? They got a show about that.
Yeah, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in love at first sight. Sorry to all those that
Oh,
have. And if it's something like that that's still together, more power to you. But yeah, I don't believe in love at first sight. I think you have to get to know each other before you really tie that knot. Because that love at first sight, you can being and got married, and then you don't, you might not like a certain thing, that goes on or whatever, you
yeah.
know. So she might want to use the restroom with the door open type thing. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
what's
So,
wrong with that?
well, who want to be? I don't care who it is. Who want to be smelling somebody? While they in
Love
the
is
restroom.
supposed to be unconditional.
Yeah, it does. But some things are, when you first meeting the person, you know, it's kind of turn off. So
So
we'll move
then,
on.
so what you say? How long should a person like date before they actually get married?
I want to say 5, but I'm gonna say 3.
5 years?
Yeah, I want to say 5. 5 is just like, okay, y'all know each other and y'all, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. But I say 3, uh, just for at least you gave us a little bit of time to kind of get to know each other. But 5, I think, is the
BX beauties, what do y'all think about that? Now, this is the man's perspective.
yeah.
What do we think about waiting 5 years to get married? Some of y'all, boy, y'all be on it with these ultimatums and y'all don't be playing. Y'all be saying y'all don't have no time to waste. Y'all be ready to get a ring on your finger like yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would agree. I don't know about 5 years, and honestly, I don't even know about 3 years. I think when the
What you
time
think?
is right, you know it.
Yeah, but
I don't
when
think I don't think you I think more than minimally a year, because you can kind of know a person within about a year. But I do feel like you gotta spend enough time getting to know that person. And really, it ain't no magic number on how long it takes to
yeah,
get to know a
to
person.
where you feel comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because really, when it's time for marriage and to take that next step, you'll know it. It's every bone in your body will be saying, yes, he is the right person for me, and so on. Yes, she is the right person for me. So I don't know that I can say that it's a magic number, but I agree. I don't believe in love at
first
first
time.
sight and marriage at first sight. It is a TV show, y'all, called Married at First Sight. If you've never seen it, it is crazy. I mean, sometimes they be having people on now who speak two different languages, and
Yeah,
they don't even understand each other.
and talking about getting married. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that. Come on, man.
I digress. So I really do. I think we have to stop rushing it, ladies. I know we want to be married like yesterday, but we got to stop rushing it
Yeah,
and let it happen organically. You
yeah,
know, because a lot of times people be in long distance relationships, and if you live clear across the globe, how do I know enough about you to make that decision of I want to be married?
Right.
And then secondly, I think marriage sometimes is cliche to people. I don't think people take marriage seriously anymore.
Right.
You know, people be take longer to get divorced than they do being married.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sad.
it is. But like I
Sad.
say, I think it's something that you just know.
Yeah.
You know, I think I knew before you knew. It took you a lot longer to figure out
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
time.
but you see, we ain't divorcing and getting remarried.
No.
We ain't divorcing and
No.
getting married again. Or finding a second spouse.
Yeah.
We made our decision and
Yeah.
we still here today.
And 13 years, baby, I knew any and everything. I knew all that I thought I could knew about him after 13
And that's the
years.
thing about ladies now. Ladies can rush something, you know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, ladies, stick with your man, be beside your man, and be there. And he doing what he's supposed to do. He might not want to get married right then and there, but I promise you, if you stick it out with him, if you really feel the love and see the love there, and he taking care of his business, take care of the household, he'll eventually give it, you know, he'll give you that ring that you well deserve.
Yes. And I don't know what it is, but like, you know, I was watching a TV show. What were we watching yesterday? Oh, we were watching Caught Up
Yeah.
yesterday, and it was this girl just really basically begging this man for a ring. And
Yeah.
it just made me cringe. When I saw her doing that, I was like, fool, if you gotta beg this man to put a ring on your finger, he really don't want to marry you, or he's just not ready. Not to say that it'll never
And
happen.
he didn't want to marry you.
No, he didn't. They ended up breaking up before the show, but it just makes me cringe when I see women giving these men the ultimatum, because it's like it's a red flag. You know, it's almost a forced proposal. And I
Yeah.
don't want to force nobody to marry me. You know, it needs to be willingly.
Right.
But we got one of our commenters said, and plus, you have to be mature when you're right out of high school. You're
Yeah.
not mature enough to handle all the responsibilities that come with marriage and keeping a successful marriage.
Right.
We need a couple, uh, we need a couple has the our couples have to have the financial stability, love, respect, and patience. Then you should get me. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
I
Very
like that.
good comment. Yeah. Once you've found some sort of stability within your relationship, then it's time to take it to the next step.
Yeah.
So another question I have for you. Now, these days, marriages, people put marriages and the spouses in like roles and categories. You know, you got the female role, you got the male role. Um, what are some of the uh what do you think as kind of the man of the house? What do you think your role is as the man of the house, and what do you think my role is as the woman of the house?
I think
Like in general terms. Don't write a book, but
I
in
think the
general
woman
terms.
cook, clean, take care of
Oh,
the children, don't work, make sure the house clean, make sure the car is clean, cut the yard. I mean, I think the women should do everything.
y'all, he
No,
totally just playing.
no.
Because that is all the way the opposite of me in some situations.
I can say,
Or do you think there are
it,
gender roles? Do you think gender roles should be as dramatic and as
no. I think I mean, for the kids and everything, I think you both should have a helping hand and take care of the kids, teaching the kids, and cooking for the kids,
yo?
and whatnot, you know, and vice versa. So I would say really not it's not too much besides, you know, just a man definitely got to provide something. You can't just, you know, sit and play your games, and vice versa for the ladies, you know what I mean? So I think it works better when both were trying to achieve something rather than one achieving something and the other one just seeming stagnant. I mean, even I think the ladies nowadays, I think them being stagnant and being at home, it really takes them into depression nowadays. You hear a lot about depression because ladies be in this household, you know, and not going out and achieving goals of their own. So I think it could be kind of equal, you know, you just the different certain things you kind of, you know, you do different, you know, for this the maintenance of the house is particularly it's gonna be the man that keep up the maintenance around the house and you know the cars and all that kind of stuff and the ladies, you know, kind of keep it clean and cook and you know the normal lady things. So I mean it can kind of be I say equal part. I mean, because I mean, I don't think you like to cut the grass too much, do you?
I didn't cut the
Yeah,
grass
you
several
have.
times.
You have cut the grass.
Don't go
But
there.
but you know, I think you like cleaning up the house a lot better. So
Because
yeah,
I don't mind going and getting that little workout. So I did. But
yeah,
no, I agree. I think society today put too much on too many emphasis on the gender roles. He's the man, so he should be doing this, or he's the head of the household, so he should be doing this, you know, or she's the woman, she should be doing this. And really, I think, you know, for us, it works out for us because we really gender roles are almost non-existent but interchangeable with us. You know, yes, he do most of the taking the trash out, and I say about 95% of the yard maintenance is his. He do that. Um, you know, but it's not to say that I don't do it and I can't do it.
yeah.
You know, I didn't taken out the trash can many a times. I didn't mow the yard and yes, he cook and he cook.
Hello.
Oh,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
oh, the shade.
I'll go here.
The shade over here. Now, could I mow the yard a little more often? Probably. But you know what? I'm gonna give my husband a rider. So I'm gonna give my husband a ride lawnmower. So it ain't even gotta be no issue. But we don't put emphasis on gender roles. Gender roles are interchangeable with us. And I think that's why things work out so much better. Because I don't pay attention and I don't harbor on, you know, him to say, you the man, you supposed to be doing this. But then on the flip side, I also see a lot of women who have spent a good amount of time on their own and they can't get past that independent woman mentality.
Yeah.
And for me, I need my husband, and I don't have any problem saying I need my husband. I appreciate having my husband. Can I handle business if I ever didn't have my husband 100%?
Yeah.
Because, yes, I am an independent woman, and vice versa for him, you know, but the gender roles just cloud things for me,
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
know.
Yeah, the gender roles could be kind of a little,
It's a societal norm
yeah,
that really brings confusion and tension into the relationship
mhm,
because you thinking if I'm the woman I'm thinking okay, uh he need to be doing X, Y, and Z. And when he's not doing X, Y, and Z, it brings about an argument or confusion. So for us, we don't really do all that gender role. He cook and clean and wash dishes and do the laundry just as much as, you know, I do some of the things that are quote unquote the male role. But yeah, I do acknowledge that my husband is the head of the household, you know, because the Bible says,
amen.
that the man is the head of the household. And and what's crazy is these days there's a lot of women that can't get past the man proclaiming to be the head of the household. and or women submitting. Like I was sitting in a group not too long ago, and I made the statement that yes, I submit to my husband, with him being my husband. Boy, I tell you, them independent women was all over me. Um, but
Well,
that's just the
them also ladies that can't keep a man.
that's
Why
true.
they single, you know,
That's
and
true.
they independent. You know what I mean? But they'll go in that old place and they'll be sitting there and watching a movie and eating some popcorn and crying to themselves, and telling the kids to go to their room because they got an attitude on why they can't keep a relationship. So
Yeah.
yeah, you got to learn how to work with each other and balance it out.
Yeah. And that's the key. As I was explaining to this forum, submission, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Just as I submit to my husband submits to me. We submit to each other, and that's how it
That's
works.
the only way it works.
you know and then we within our relationship, we are 50-50. He bring as much as he can to our relationship, and I bring as much as I can to our relationship, and that's how relationships stay together. Just because he's the head of the household don't mean I expect him to pull more weight in any area.
Right.
Like that brings me to my next question. These days is such controversy over who makes the most money. What do you think about that? Like, what do you think about kind of that controversy where they saying somebody have to make more money than the other, and or some men being upset because their wives make more money than them?
Well, that's selfish, and that's having a jealous spirit. Just because your wife make more money than you, don't make you less of a man. You understand? So
Yeah.
you still can be a protector. You still can be a provider. Just as long as you make yours and she making hers, it shouldn't be no discrepancies. I think if she make more, she make more. But if you're smart enough, you just go out and start a business and you bring it in, and then y'all both making the same, and that'll kill everything. But nah, I'd have been in a relationship like that with my wife. She made more money than me for a long time. So I mean, you learn how to deal with it. You can work through it and not be selfish and jealous.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
I don't think I ever looked at it that way, but you 100% correct. Is jealousy and is selfishness. And you know what? I think I might even take it as far as saying it's a little bit of insecurity. Because at the end of the day, with us, yes, if it's a man that's saying I'm mad and I don't like the fact that my wife make more money than me, then you insecure. But with the way that it has always worked with us is at the end of the day, whatever you make and whatever I make, we put our money together. It's all coming to one household. It can't be when it comes to financial means and unity. When we got married, that means you took on my debt, you took on we put everything together.
Right.
And I know I may like throw a few people off when I say this, but those households where people make the money and it's divided and separate, I don't believe in that. He got his money, I got my money, he got his bank account, I got my bank account. That is a divided spirit. That's bringing division in your relationship. That's a divided household. And marriage is not supposed to be that way. In marriage, everything is supposed to be together.
And nothing in their relationship is going to pan out.
Yeah. And you're going to have some issues later on down the line. So that's why when people be talking about who make more money and this, that, and the third, and I look at it as it should be a mute point. It should be 100% irrelevant because everything either one of us bring into the household, it goes into one pot in which we both equally have access to. It can't be no situation where yes, he bringing out his money and we depositing it into one account, but I'm the only one got access to it. That ain't right neither, ladies. Yes, that's not right. I got a comment. So one of our commenters said each may know each other's qualities. Some the husband may do better than the wife, and some the wife may do better, but unity is teamwork and you work together to make the household work. Ooh, LL, you are on a roll with these comments. Thank you. The Bible tells the husband to treat his wife better than his own body, to love and respect and cherish her and never be domineering toward her. So the Bible's way for the husband is the best way of life for the wife. And you rhyming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But not enough people read their Bible to really even know what it says about marriage. And that's one thing that, once you become spiritually strong and you strengthen yourself spiritually, yes, it sheds light onto these types of issues and will answer many of your questions about relationships and marriages and how your relationship and marriages should be functioning. One of the things, now we ain't gonna keep y'all here all night, but we got a few more questions, few more things we want to comment on, because again, today's live stream is us answering questions, but also us giving our perspective on what keeps a relationship thriving and together and happy. You know, and I don't know if we said it before, but we were together for about 13 years before we got married. And then we've been married almost 11 years, about 11 years this year. So long time, lot of history. One of the next questions I want to throw out there. So we know when married couples start having kids, sometimes things change. Now, with us, we got 3 kids and one beautiful angel.
You saying things ain't changed?
No, I ain't said that. My question is, from your perspective, how do you feel things changed after we started having kids?
Oh, man. A lot of quiet time.
We lost
I
it.
think that's the number one. No, you don't get all that kind of quiet time, but for this relationship, man, you can't let the kids change your relationship. You kind of got to keep everything together, So, for just kids, just quiet time, being a long time to yourself and stuff like that. But I try to keep the relationship the same.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Go ahead.
So, and yes, you are correct. You have done an amazing job with that. Reality is when you start having kids, yes, your marriage will evolve and change. And I always say only the strong survive. So for us, I felt like we built enough of a foundation before our kids came. And we were in love and we built a friendship before our kids came. So yes, having kids naturally will change the dynamics of your relationship. But if it's enough of a foundation there, having kids can strengthen your relationship. For me, I felt more
now, you say strengthen the relationship, don't mean having a kid gonna keep man now.
Yes, that's true.
So that's
good point.
We ain't gonna use it that way. So
Well, as I was saying, it can strengthen the relationship, but you are right. That's a good point because there's a lot of us women out here feel like if we have a baby by a man, it will keep that relationship. And the reality is, if you didn't have a foundation in that relationship before the kids came, the kids is not going to keep that relationship together.
right.
But what I was saying was, I feel like it strengthened our relationship because for me, I felt like we were more of a family. When the kids came, it felt
Right.
so, and it could just be my kooky little brain, but we felt more complete and more whole, and we felt more like a family, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, however, yes, the kids do also pose challenges from an aspect of, yeah, you lose your quiet time. It's hard to find that alone time, especially when the kids are so little,
Mhm.
you know. But in order to make it work after having kids, is A, you got to build that foundation before you start having kids. And then B, you have to make sure that you set those boundaries even with your kids. You got to show your kids that A, mama and daddy is a united front. We're united. We are one.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you just got to make that alone time for yourselves. You
Yeah.
got to keep nurturing your relationship even in the midst of having kids,
Yeah, you got to.
because otherwise you'll lose yourself in your kids.
Right.
Um, so we got another comment. The Bible is very practical for everything, even with our children, by taking quality time out for each other. And that's the truth. With us juggling two businesses, three kids, and life in and of itself, sometimes we have to demand the presence of each other.
Yeah.
But then
She
on the
demand the presence of me here today. I got out work. Hey, look, hey, you got to be here today. So, yeah, you got to. Gotta make it work.
Y'all, no lie. I told him if he did not get to this live stream and be on time, I wasn't coming into work for 2 whole days. So that means I was not going to be going to work tomorrow or Friday. He was going to be doing it all on his own. But
We working together.
there are other little ways that we find time to spend by ourselves. We put the kids to bed early, and those last 2 hours of the night is usually ours. We got little TV shows that we always watch together.
Kind of catch up on.
Yo, our shower time is always ours, and we've been doing that for years, So, so you just got, when you have kids, you just got to find ways to create that alone time, you know.
Yeah.
Next question, and so we got two more questions, y'all.
Two more,
maybe three, because I like to talk, and I'm having fun, ain't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's all right right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Feel like I'm getting drilled for a second, but yeah, it's all right.
Oh, and how can I forget? So when it comes to that alone time, I have to give a huge shout out to our parents, both sets of our parents.
Yeah.
My parents live here in the same state with us, and they are huge.
Well, I mean, they go to the museum every weekend. So it's perfect.
They are huge. They are a huge support with allowing us to have that alone time on the weekends and taking our kids and doing things with them. So shout out to you, mama and daddy. Thank you so very much for that. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then anytime we back home in Texas, My mother-in-law and my father-in-law, they are huge with making sure that we also have that time, to ourselves as well. I mean, and all our family in Texas. So when we go back home, literally we got to be calling around looking for our kids because they just go from everywhere.
Yeah.
So we get more than enough alone time, but I had to throw that little shout out there. We know that relationships are not perfect. Um, there's always going to be arguments, miscommunications, differences, or what have you.
Yeah.
What is your advice as far as how to handle arguments, miscommunications, and just differences?
Well, yeah, it's well, a lot of times, when you get talking to each other, you kind of go and getting, feel like you getting into like a little argument. I guess the best thing to do is kind of step out of each other's sight for a little bit, and then come back and communicate about what y'all was arguing about. I mean, a lot of times, people try to stay there and prove their point, and by the end of that, you been and said all kind of things to each other that you didn't really mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once you feel that anger or whatever coming on, I think you kind of divide yourself for a little bit and come back and talk about it the best way.
Yeah. And that's funny because and that's where he and I are total opposites because I'm one that I always feel like communication. He tried to give, and yes, granted, in some situations, yeah, we gotta have our time apart and then come back and discuss whatever the situation is. But
Yeah.
I like to talk about it, and sometimes I feel like he get over things a lot faster than I do.
I'm not saying you guys don't talk about it, but at the time when you see one person is not feeling what they talking about at that time, I think it's best to cut it off and come back and redo it a little later.
Sometimes. Because
it's the best time. It's the best thing to do.
And I'm kind of joking, but in all respects, you got to do what works for you and your relationship. And it depends on the severity of the situation and the situation at hand. I like to talk about it, and sometimes I like to talk about it right away.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, now we talking about going on cruises and stuff like that. I'm halfway asleep in the bed, and she want me to sit up and talk about a cruise and vacation. So, at that time, I don't want to, but I get you.
So I like to talk about it. Moral of the story, I guess if I have to put our two perspectives together, talk about it. Yeah, always make sure that communication is there. Mm-hmm. It is totally okay to tell your spouse, hey, I'm not feeling it, whether it's an action or something you said, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, that is something, I try to work on too, because I like to talk about it right away so we can just go and squash it and move on to the next. Yeah. But then he like to make sure that he have his time to think about it, process it, and kind of diffuse the situation. Right. And I have to be respectful of that. I got to make sure that he's ready to have a conversation because otherwise it's a one-way conversation. But I'm gonna tell you, I know what I be doing. Waiting till late at night to talk about vacation is a strategy, ladies, and it works. Trust me.
Now remember, that's our 2-hour quiet time. That's our 2-hour quiet time.
It's a strategy, and it works. But also, I gotta say, arguments and disputes should never become physical. From the man's perspective, men should never put their hand on a woman. I don't care how bad the situation is, and vice versa. Women should never put their hand on a man because you got some women who will go upside their husband's head or their man's head, and when he get frustrated and or go upside your head, you looking like Willie Foo Foo. Yes, he should have enough restraint to ensure that he don't put his hand on you, even though you've put your hand on him. But like abuse is never okay. We always gotta talk it out, you know. And once you've got to know each other, you kind of understand the best way to solve these arguments and these disputes. But that's natural. Every relationship gonna have an argument. If you sit and tell me y'all don't argue,
you got a yes man.
Yeah, y'all lying.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all lying or your relationship is fake. 100%. Comment. Try to talk, call, listen without interrupting. Ooh, you said something now. That's me. I will like jump in now real quick before you even know it. Then respond. So listen without interrupting, then respond. Never do the silent treatment. If somebody apologizes, accept the apology. Accept the apology and then move on, and never hold grudges. Oh my goodness. And have an open mind in order to make peace. It's not about who's right or wrong. Whoa. Oh, you hit the nail on the head. Most times he's wrong. But we ain't gonna call it out. We don't call it out, but no, I'm just playing. Last question for your husband. What are some things, if you was like this, oh wait, I got one more question before we go down. What are 2 things you would say breaks a relationship apart, and 2 things that can keep a relationship together? So like if you was this life coach and you giving advice, and this is the last question, you giving advice, what are maybe 1 or 2 things that breaks relationships apart and keeps relationships together?
I would say keeping them together is communication. Well, it could be a couple of different things.
Okay, well let's do
loyalty. The loyalty is
okay,
and the respect. It's 2 of the main things that'll keep a relationship together.
Loyalty and
respect. Give everybody their space and understand each other. So I think the loyalty and respect will have it go a long way.
Expand on the loyalty.
Everything else, is just loyalty. You with them and talk about things that you guys want to do, and when you say something that you want to do, he stick by your side, and when I say something about what I want to do, he stick by my side, and that type of loyalty. I ain't talking about no other going. When you're in a relationship, it's still loyalty there, so you still got to keep those things. Keep it straight. That loyalty and respect.
And what do you think breaks relationships and marriages apart?
Man, a lot of things. It's plenty of things that can break it apart. Not keeping that loyalty and that respect can definitely break it apart. Not having a good communication, bury your way out, understand each other can break it apart. One want to do more, going out cheating, all that kind of stuff can break it apart. It's a lot of things that can break it apart.
That's true.
A lot of things that can keep it together too. So
now let's go back and expand on one that may get a little bit controversial. What is your definition of infidelity and cheating? Like from the man's perspective, ladies, we get the man's perspective. What's your definition of cheating?
Oh, looking at another man.
Looking at him how? Like you look at other men on TV.
Lusting for another man?
Well, how do you know she would be lusting?
I don't know. Well, how I know she be lusting? She's looking too hard and smiling and week out. Yeah. Now, so
what is
we
see,
already know
do
what it
y'all
is.
think he is trying not to answer this
We
question?
know what it is. What
Husband, what is your definition? Because there's a lot of people who have multiple definitions of cheating. What is your definition of cheating?
given what's the most? I mean, obviously,
You kind of stuttering a little
sex,
bit.
having sex with another individual is definitely, out of bounds.
Okay,
But we go
sexual
to the more
relations.
simple part is going even to have dinner or even just uh, conversating with somebody that then kind of hit on you and you still standing there and conversating with them.
Okay,
That could be another go
I
out to
would
dinner
agree.
and all that kind
I
of
would
stuff.
agree.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff could be a form of cheating to certain individuals. So
Now, y'all, sometimes we be seeing stuff on TV and it be some little sketchy situations. Sometimes, most times we agree, sometimes we don't. But I agree, infidelity and cheating is any act, or whether verbal or or an action, anytime you cross those boundaries, those platonic boundaries or those professional boundaries, anytime you cross those boundaries with someone who is not just your spouse, I think that's infidelity, that's cheating. And I think you gave it that was a real good example, husband.
but
Even just going out to
that's
eat.
not everybody relationship.
Fellas, did y'all
We
hear
talking
my
about
husband?
Jada
Fellas,
Pinkett,
did y'all hear my husband?
Jada
He say
Pinkett
even
and
if you go
Will
out,
Smith.
what?
Now
That's
it
an
depends
open
on how you.
relationship.
Well, it
From
all
what
depends on
they
how your
say.
relationship is.
Well, but see, okay, touche. See, they open to entanglements and stuff like that.
So they can
Um,
cheat on each other.
but now they don't call it cheating; they call
Well,
it
they
an
married.
entanglement.
You asked me for it.
You right, but and the
So-
Bible say it's still cheating. The
There you
Bible
go.
say it's still cheating, whether you give them permission or not.
Now, if they weren't married and had the open relationship, then that's not considered.
That's
But
just
once
dating
you,
around.
Yeah, but once you didn't, tied the knot under the man's word,
I
you
know
cheating,
that's
whether it's open or not.
Yo, do y'all hear my husband dropping facts? Now, some people will try to say it different. They be doing all this dirt and then a holler it's not infidelity. But yes, anytime they crossing the lines, and in fairness, sometimes we do things, both men and women, and it may be it we may not have perceived it as cheating, but the other person may have perceived it as you crossed that boundary. And like for us, whether it's cheating or not in society terms, if my husband was to come to me and say, no, I feel like you crossed the boundary, then I have to respect his perception and I got to make sure that I don't repeat that action or do that again, because it's all about his perception versus what society norms actually say, you know. So, and I would agree, I think keeping relationships together is respect, loyalty, and through thick and thin, whether we up and doing well or we in a point where we're hitting our low. That's what relationships are all about: communication, honesty, trust. Those are very big things that keep a relationship together. And if I had to give one more thing, I'd say transparency. Come in the door being transparent, get everything out on the table, talk about it, and then compromise.
Yeah.
You always gonna have to find compromise between the two relationships, within the relationship. Yes, that's true. And then if I had to kind of throw out a few things that tear a relationship or a marriage apart, I would say a lack of time and investment into the marriage and the relationship. because a marriage can't last with just coexisting.
Yeah.
We actually have to put forth the effort to stay married and to nurture our marriage. Let's see. Cheating, as he said, dishonesty, disloyalty. I agree. All of or a lack of prioritization. Um, I think those are some things that can kind of tear a relationship apart.
Yeah.
And for me, a little bit going back to that financial piece, I don't need you to be rich. I don't need you to take care of me because I'm always going to bring my bag to the table as well. But I do need for you to be able to provide and bring something to the table so we together can provide to our household. What I'm about to say is probably going to throw some people all the way off, but I don't believe in this day and age and with inflation and everything. I don't know that I believe in house husbands and housewives unless there is a real need for somebody not to work. Maybe you got a sick kid or the daycare situation, but
Maybe you lost your legs.
something like that. But I feel like by any means necessary, if you're able-bodied and can, we both need to be contributing. I think that keeps relationships together and prevents you from arguing about financial strain, which can happen. So last comment will be from LL. The Bible also says that if you're lusting for a person in your heart, it's like you've already done the deed with God. Oh, that's so true. And a successful marriage takes work. That is the truth. Well, y'all, we're going to keep putting in the work on our end. Thank you to everybody who joined and who commented. We truly do appreciate all the feedback. We always appreciate you joining. If you have a topic that you would like to bring to Bracorriah's Beauty Circle, make sure you drop it in the comment section or send us an email. We'd love to introduce your suggestion to the Beauty Circle.
Yeah.
Thank you, husband, for joining.
Oh, absolutely.
Sincerely appreciated.
Happy to be here. Happy to be conversating, doing things with my BX beauties.
Yes. Thank y'all for tuning in for sure. All right. If you have not, make sure you catch some of our other beauty circles. Again, today was about protecting and preserving our relationships. So, all right. Have a great day, BX Beauties.
여유롭게 달려